Okay, I want to cover something on Tansao right now. There's another instructor that's just put a video out, and I saw it, and it's something I think I need to address, and it's not, just in general, okay? They were talking about position of Tansao, and he was stating, and the reason I'm covering this is because at the end of his video, the very last thing he said was, can anybody tell me the reason for a straightforward Tansao? Because they carry their Tansao up at this position and their Wu Sao, and when they do the form, Tansao comes up and Wu Sao's up here. Generally, when we do Tan in the form, you'll notice we come out more of a parallel Tan. It's the way Yip Ching teaches it. If you look, it's the way Yip Man did it in the forms as well, okay? If you look at the video of Yip Man, when he's doing the Tan, you'll see his Tan ends up well below the collar of his shirt when you're looking straight on. It's not up here covering his face, okay? Tan and this particular instructor, who I have a great deal of respect for, however, there are some things that are technically different. He's talking about the Tan being up here, and the reason for the Tan being up here in their form is that they use it for protecting the upper level of the body. So if Larry's throwing a hook, you're picking up Tan up here, and the reason the Tan's up here is because if it was down here naturally, that's not going to miss this. Well, there's a good reason for that. Tan is not meant to take on an oncoming force. The term Tan means to spread, much like you would spread butter on a piece of bread, okay? The Tan is really meant to take on a straightforward force coming out from an extended position, if you look at the way the Tan is used, okay? If he's throwing a hook, if I'm trying to pick up a Tan, I'm taking on force with force. This puts a lot of stress on the ligaments and tendons of the elbow. And this is more likely to collapse on you because of the stress it's putting on the ligaments and tendons. You know why Muay Thai guys don't hold the Thai pads for each other like this? Because when they get kicked, they're gonna punch themselves in the face each time, because this will collapse. There's a reason they turn the arms outside to take on that force when they hold Thai pads for each other. The Thai kick is an extremely powerful kick. When you're taking on force, the structure here is a lot better than the structure here. Test it out for yourself, okay? Now, in Chum Kyu, we have what Ip Chun refers to when we go through this section, is that what he calls the Chum Kyu Taun Sao, the palms facing out. This is a much stronger angle to take on an incoming force than if I turn it this way. Again, structure test this. This is not meant to take on a competing force. What Tan is really meant to do, if you look at it, and again, get back to the definition of Tan, it's spreading. If he throws a jab, I pick up here. He throws a cross coming across this line, the Tan spreads that force as I take on that incoming force. Now, notice the other thing is, I'm not coming from here when he throws that punch this way. The hand's extended. I've already picked up Pak. So the hand's extended. The Tan picks up from there as I pick this up. But as it comes in, I'm moving forward, and it puts the pressure directly into my body because it's parallel. It's not sitting up like this. Even with the straight line force, I'm gonna end up with him being able to collapse this if I'm not taking this on more of a parallel force, because this lets the pressure come into the body through structure, not through the ligaments and tendons and the muscular force of the arm, okay? But if he's throwing a hook, I'm not taking on this way. This will collapse every time. Take on a good strong punch and structure test this for yourselves. That's not what Tan is meant to do. If I'm throwing a hook and he picks up Tan, okay, and he gets this up in front of his face like this. Now, don't let this collapse. See what I'm saying? You feel the structure of your ligaments and tendons, you feel the strain there. What's the chance of this stopping a heavy hook coming in? It's not good structure, okay? However, if he's using that palm out ton, you can get here, I can press on this all day long and not collapse it. And again, structure test this for yourself. Feel the difference in these two movements. If you're trying to take on force with the palm turned towards yourself, this is going to collapse, and feel the stress it puts at ligaments and tendons at the elbow. Do nothing but turn this around. It changes the relationship of the ligaments and tendons and the structure of the arm, and you'll find that this structure is so much better than this structure. Okay? Test that out for yourselves. It'll tell you why you shouldn't be using this to take on some kind of force. Think not Pee Wee Herman throwing a hook at you, but Mike Tyson throwing that hook. Okay? So understand what you're running into when you try to use this against an oncoming force, rather than something much structurally, much more structurally efficient than that Tansao is. Okay? If he's throwing a hook, I can use Wu, the extension of Wu Sao. I can use what we refer to as a Chumfu Tansao. It's a lot more structured movement to take on that kind of force. The Tan, again, is a parallel movement, and it's meant to take on a straight line force and spread it through the movement of the body, not through the arm's force. Notice when he throws that jab, I pick up Pak, he throws a cross, I'm turning my body to pick this up. This stays on center line just like it will when I come out in the form. I'm not turning this off from the body. It's still center line based, just like it is in the Silam Tao. So as he throws, I'm here. This is picking up that Tan, but notice I'm not up here. I'm down parallel. I'm spreading that force. My pressure from Tan is forward. It's the body that turns this. Tan's here, and the punch, being a cutting angle punch, takes over that line as well. So I'm using both of these on that triangular structure to take over the force of the opponent. I'm not thinking about this spreading this way, which opens up my center, and I'm certainly not thinking of taking on a force versus force situation with the Tansao. Okay? Just so people understand. Again, the question this instructor asked at the end of his video is, we teach it this way, can anybody tell me why you would do it this way? That's exactly why we do it that way, because Tan is not meant to take on force. It's meant to spread force, dissipate force. Much like the Bong Sao does, the Tan does the same thing. We're not taking on a direct force with Tansao. We have much better tools to do that. So that's the reason for a parallel Tansao, in case anybody's curious. Okay? So anyway, just wanted to clarify that because it is quite different in our approaches, and nothing against this other instructor. I have a great deal of respect for him. However, some things are different. He asked the question, that's the reason for the parallel Tansao.